Hello and welcome to this month's yoga class. So we're going to start on the floor. So I like to come down and we'll come down onto our backs and we'll start lying down. So just like to find a comfortable position and we'll take our focus onto our breathing to start with. Now here we just want to focus on some nice deep breaths in and out. So with each deep breath in, we try and draw it down towards the stomach, allow the stomach to rise. And as you breathe out, just allow your stomach to drop back down again. So take a nice deep breath in. On that next breath out, we're going to take the arms overhead, where if we can, we're going to interlace our fingers. And we're going to reach the whole length, so we'll point the toes. We'll try and take the hands as far away from the top of the head as we can. We're just making ourselves as long as possible. And just focus on the deep breaths in and out as we hold. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to release that stretch. We can release the arms. And we'll just bring them down to around shoulder height if there's enough room. If there's not quite enough room at shoulder height, just bring your arms a little bit closer to your sides. And we're going to bend the legs so we can bring the soles of the feet to the floor. And trying to keep the shoulders pinned to the ground. We're going to gently lower the knees to the right. Just take them as low to the floor as you feel you can. And we'll ease back up to the center and over to the left. We're just going to gently take the knees from side to side. As I said, trying to keep the shoulders pinned to the floor as we do. So we can really focus on that nice bit of moving through our hips and through the back of the body. If the movement's feeling good, you like to add a little extra in. The next time we lower the knees back to the right, we can try and circle the left knee up towards the right shoulder, still keeping the shoulders down. We can do the same as you lower the knees to the left, right knee towards the left shoulder. However, if that feels too much, don't worry, just stick with taking the knees from side to side. If we can, it's just going to increase that bit of movement through the back of the body. We're still trying to keep those shoulders pinned to the floor. And there's one more option we can add in if we feel we can. You can try and extend the leg, taking the toes towards the fingertips. Again, if that feels too much, don't worry, stick with the knee towards the shoulder, or just gently lowering your knees from side to side, whichever option feels right for you today. Just one more time to each side. We can gently ease back to the center. From here, we're going to lift the legs. I take hold of the shins. We'll just draw our knees gently in towards us. And if this feels enough, we're just going to hold it here. Or if we do feel we can add a little bit more in, we can come into happy baby pose. We'll take the feet towards the ceiling, trying to take hold of the inside or the outside of the feet. If you can't reach your feet though, don't worry, we can take hold of our ankles or our shins. Wherever we're reaching to, we're trying to get the thighs as close to parallel to the floor as we feel we can. And as close to a 90-degree bend of the knee as you feel as possible. And here we're also trying to press the lower back into the floor. So we don't want it curling up away from the ground. We're trying to keep it pressed as close to the floor as we feel we can. To keep that squeeze to the legs, take those nice deep breaths in and out. And if it does feel too much at any point, we can release and hug the knees back in towards us. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we can gently release. We'll just hug the knees back in towards the chest. And if it feels comfortable to, I like to bring the hands to the back of the thighs, or we gently just start to rock and roll on the spot. Slowly bring ourselves towards a seated position. Now, if it doesn't feel comfortable to rock and roll, please just gently bring yourself to a seated position. But if we are happy to, we're going to build that little bit of momentum up. And once we feel we have enough momentum, we can release the thighs, either come into a seated position, or if we feel we can, to a squat. But it doesn't matter which one, because from either position, we're going to come around onto all fours. So we can bring our hands down to the floor. We'll step the feet back. So here the hands are roughly under the shoulders, the knees are roughly under the hips. And then we're just going to focus on bringing some movement through the back of the body. So as you breathe out, we're going to try and arch the spine up towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe in, we'll arch the spine the other way, pushing the chest down towards the floor. Now if it feels more comfortable to have your breath the other way, that's absolutely fine. Please just go in time with your own breath. We really want to focus on trying to get as much movement through the back of the body as we feel we can. from the hole to the centre. And here we're going to come to child's pose, so just start to push your hips towards your heels. We can relax the arms out in front of us. We just lower ourselves as far into the floor as we feel we can. And take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to ease back up onto all fours. And here we'll tuck the toes under. We're going to lift our knees. We're going to push the hips back and up into our down dog. So here our heels can be lifted. We can have a little bend in the knees. We're pushing the hips up high. We're trying to draw our shoulder blades back and together so we get a nice straight line through the back of the body. You can take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll lift onto the toes. We're going to roll our weight forwards, coming through into a plank position as we do. So we're going to bring the shoulders out over the fingertips. Then we can bring the knees down to the floor. We're going to keep the elbows close to the ribs, so we lower the upper body down to the ground. And then we're going to lift into a little bit of a back bend. So we'll draw our shoulders back and together. We'll squeeze through the bottom and the back of the legs, lifting the chest as high as we can without pressing the hands into the ground. So we really focus on that squeeze through the whole back of the body. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll lower back to the floor. We'll push back up onto all fours. We'll tuck our toes under again, lifting the knees, pushing the hips back, and up into our down dog. So again here, our heels can be lifted. We can have that little bend in the knees, but the hips are high, drawing the shoulder blades back and together. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, like to bend your legs, we're going to step the left foot forwards, trying to bring it as close to outside your hand as you feel you can. Now if you need to, bring the right knee down to the floor, and also take a moment to readjust so the left knee is roughly over the ankle. And whether our knee is lifted or our knee is down, we want to make sure we squeeze the muscles of the legs. We want to build some tension into the muscles of the legs, because that's going to look after our joints. We want to keep that tension there. Keep that squeeze in the legs. We're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to lift the left hand up towards the ceiling, so we add in a rotation. Again, if it feels too much with the right knee lifted, please bring it back down to the floor, but keep the squeeze to the legs either way. In. As you breathe out, we'll bring the hand back to the floor. We're going to step the left foot back, Hips go up into our down dog. We're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, like to bend your legs, we're going to step our feet forwards and together. So we come into a forward fold. And in our forward fold, we want to keep a slight bend in the knees because that's going to look after our hips. We want to let go through the arms and shoulders. Just allow them to hang heavy. And don't worry if the hands don't touch the floor. Keeping the arms heavy, we'll slowly roll up to standing. Once we get to standing, we'll circle the arms overhead. Bring the palms together if we can. And we'll go into a bit of a back bend. So we're going to arch backwards now as we do. It's really important to squeeze to the bum and the back of the legs because that's going to look after our lower back. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll release the back bend. We're going to release the arms, allowing them to come down to our sides. Here, I'd like to take your feet a little bit wider, so they're about hip width apart. And then trying to keep them hip width apart, we're going to take a nice long stride back with the right foot. And here, we want to be able to bring the heel of the foot down to the floor. Now your right foot can either be square with the long edge of your mat, or you can have it a little bit of an angle, whichever feels more comfortable. The heel is pressed into the ground. We want to keep a slight bend in the left leg, and we're trying to keep our hips pointing towards the narrow edge of the mat. So we squeeze the legs so those hips are pointing forwards. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to tip forwards from the hip, bring the hands down onto the left shin, keeping that right heel pressed into the floor, keeping that slight bend in the left leg. And if this feels enough, we'll hold it here. If you feel you can reach a little bit further, you can bring the hands towards the ankle or even hands to the floor, but the heels don't lift. We keep that little bit of a bend in the left leg. We remember to focus on our breathing. So we take those nice deep breaths in and out as we hold. A deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll slowly ease back up to standing. We'll then step the right foot forwards, bring the feet together, and we'll come into our forward fold. So a little bit of a bend in the knees, allow your arms and shoulders to hang heavy, and then we'll roll as far towards the floor as we feel we can. Yeah, not worrying if the hands can reach the ground or not. Then we'll bend the legs so we can bring the hands to the floor. I like to step your feet back, push your hips up into our down dog. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we lift onto the toes. We're going to roll our weight forwards, and through into our plank position. Get on the knees or the toes, keeping the elbows close to the roof or lower down towards the floor. And here we're going to lift into our back bend, so either the small one that we did before, drawing the shoulders back and together, squeezing through the whole back of the body, or this time if we feel we can lift that bit higher. We still draw our shoulder blades back and together, still squeezing through the bum and the back of the legs. But here we can press the hands into the floor, and the legs can lift slightly off the floor too. breath in. As we breathe out, we'll tuck the toes under, we'll push the hips back and up into our down dog. We're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, like to bend the legs, we're going to step the right foot forward so we come into our lunge position on this side. So again, take the moment to readjust if you need to. So the right knee is roughly over the ankle, the heel is down, and if we need to, lower the left knee to the floor. And whether the knee is down or the knee is lifted, I want you to squeeze through the legs to build that tension into the muscles of the legs. Look after those joints. Keeping that squeeze in the legs, we're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll take the right hand up towards the ceiling this time, so we add in our rotation on this side. Again, lower the back knee if you need to. As you breathe out, we'll bring the hand down to the floor. We're going to step the foot back, pushing the hips up into our down dog. We'll then take that deep breath in. On the exhale, we'll bend our legs, stepping the feet forwards and together coming into our forward fold. So again, here, slight bend in the knees, allow the arms to hang heavy. Don't worry if the hands don't touch the floor. Then keeping those arms heavy, we'll slowly roll up to standing. We'll circle the arms overhead, bring the palms of the hands together if we can, and going into our back bend. So we'll arch backwards, squeezing through the glutes, the hamstrings, the bum and the back of the legs. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll release the back bend. Release the arms, bring them down to our sides. We'll take those feet a little bit wider so they're about hip width apart. Keep them hip width apart. We'll take that nice long stride back with the left leg. So this time, bringing the left heel down to the floor. And the left foot can either be parallel with the long edge of the mat or at that little bit of an angle, whichever feels more comfortable. Slight bend in the right leg and hips pointing towards the narrow edge. We'll then take our deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll tip forward, bring the hands down onto the right shin this time, keeping the left heel pressed into the ground, that slight bend in the right leg. And if that's enough, we'll hold it here, or we can reach for the ankle, or hands down to the floor, whatever reaching to. The heel stay pressed into the ground, that slight bend in the front leg. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll slowly start to ease back up to standing. We'll step the left foot forward so we can bring the feet together. We'll come back into our forward fold to relax your arms and shoulders, that little bit of a bend in the knees. We'll roll as far towards the floor as we feel we can. We're going to bend the legs so we can bring the hands to the floor. We'll step our feet back, pushing the hips up and into our down dog. Take our deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll lift onto the toes, rolling our weight forwards. Move into our plank position. Then either on the knees or toes, keeping the elbows close to the ribs, we're going to come all the way down to the floor. And then here I like to bend the left leg. We're going to bring the heel up behind us, reaching back to take hold of the ankle, drawing the heel in. If we can't reach it on our front, we can try rolling up onto the right hip and shoulder, bending the left leg, and taking hold of the ankle here. We'll get the same stretch into the thigh, but it's just a little bit easier to take hold of. And we want to make sure we grab the ankle and not the foot, so we can help look after the knee. And then we flex the foot as well. We hold it here, just focusing on those deep breaths in and out. In. As you breathe out, we'll release, allow the foot to come down to the floor, and we'll do the same on the other side. We'll bend the right leg, bring the heel up behind us, taking hold of the ankle again. If we can't reach on our front, we can roll onto the left hip and shoulder this time, and the leg take hold of the ankle there. As we hold, we'll just focus on those deep breaths. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, we'll release the hand, foot come down to the floor. We'll bring the hands back next to the hips, and we'll lift either into our small back bend or our large one, either way, drawing our shoulders back and together, scoop through the whole back of the body. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll tuck the toes, lifting the hips back and up into our down dog. Only here for a moment. Then from here I like to bend the legs, and we can gently lower the knees down to the floor. And we'll come into child's pose. We'll just push our hips back towards the heels. We can release the arms out in front of us, sinking as far into the floor as you feel we can. Now take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll gently ease back up onto all fours. We're just going to make our way through to a seated position, however it feels comfortable. I'd like to take the legs out in front of you. And here, we're going to come into a seated twist. So either keep your left leg straight or bend the right one so we can bring the foot flat to the floor, either inside the leg, or if we can, flat to the floor over the leg. But if you find your foot's lifted in at an angle, please just lift it back to the inside of the leg. We're then going to use the left arm to hug the right knee in, and we're going to twist and look as far over the right shoulder as we can, sitting up nicely towards the hip. As we breathe out, we'll slowly untwist. And then we'll release the leg. We're going to do the same thing going the other way, so we'll keep the right leg straight this time. We'll bring the left foot flat to the floor, either inside or over the leg. Again, if your foot's lifted in at an angle, just step it back to the inside of the leg. We'll then use the right arm to hug the left knee in, and we'll twist to look as far over the left shoulder as we feel we can. And we sit up as tall as we feel we can as well. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll gently untwist, and then we can release. Now just like to find a comfortable position, because you have a little bit of relaxation to the trip. Once you've found a real comfortable position, just like to take your focus onto your breathing. And we just want to take those nice full deep breaths in and out, just like we did at the start of the class. With each deep breath in, pull it back down towards the stomach and your stomach's right. And as you breathe out, just allow your stomach to drop back down. And if you want to, just take your focus down towards your lower body. Maybe you really just curl your toes down and just start to squeeze through all the muscles in the lower body, so to your calves, your thighs, the glutes, really squeeze and build some tension into all the muscles in the lower body. You want to hold that tension there. Have a full deep breath in and out. Then we can do the same with the upper body as well if you want to. Lift your hands into fists. Really squeeze all the muscles in your arms, into your shoulders, into the back of the neck. Build that tension to all those muscles of the upper body, holding that tension there. Those next few deep breaths in and out. Feel your shoulders drop away from the ears, your arms just seem a little bit heavier into the floor. maybe wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes. You just want to put a few small circles, wrists, ankles. And then if you want to change position, please do. Maybe hug the knees in towards you, maybe roll onto your side. Feels comfortable to you. And then just gently in your own time, back to your seated position. And then from our seated position, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. As you do, just allow your arms to drift overhead. As you breathe out at the top, I'd like to relax your shoulders, and then we'll circle our arms back and down. We'll do that one more time. Nice deep breath. As you breathe out, relax your shoulders and circle your arms back and down. Fantastic work, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this yoga class. If you have any comments, any questions, please send me a message, leave a comment below. But I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you all very soon.